Hey guys, so I'm here to wrap up what I've read in the past 3 months, so March, April, May, those aren't the ones, April, May and June, those are the ones. So I'm just going to get straight into them because I have read a total of 18 books and they're interesting. So let's get into them. Alright, so the first book that I read in April was a continuation from a series, and that was Unravel Me. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. I had a lot of issues with it, mainly those issues being Juliet and her being a massive whiner and not doing anything, just sitting around staring at walls. The only time that I slightly liked her was at the very end because she finally puts her big girl pants on and actually does something for a change. And also another issue that I had with this book was that nothing happened, just literally nothing. No plot advancement whatsoever. And that bugs me. Then I read Fracture Me, which is the novella told from Adam's point of view, and I like Adam. I never truly hated him because I just felt so much kind of sympathy for his situation and his Juliet situation and his Warner situation. I just pity him a lot because I felt like he drew the short straw out of such a bad situation. He just got a really tough break, and I know that that doesn't excuse his jerkish behavior, but I can kind of understand why he acted the way he did. So I don't love him, but I don't hate him. He has my sympathies. Then I got to the third book, which is Ignite Me, which is the conclusion of this trilogy, and I really liked it. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I loved Juliet's massive 360 transformation. I loved it. I loved how she broke out of her shell, but what I didn't really like was how the events at the end were quite rushed. I didn't really like that, so that's why I took a star off its rating. But besides that, I really liked it. It was a good trilogy. And I'm also really excited for the TV show adaptation. Yes. To sum up the Shatter Me trilogy, it kind of feels like I was on a roller coaster ride. So at the first book in Shatter Me, I was so excited. I was highly anticipating it. And then I came to the second book and it just kind of went downhill at a really steep pace. And then the third book, things started uplifting, and then it kind of slowed down and kind of just killed off at the end a little. That's how I would describe it. Yep. Then I read Anna and the French Kiss, and I was really hoping for a contemporary, fluffy romance read, and I did get that, but I did not like it at all. I liked it at the end when it was concluding and I could actually finally be free of this novel, but throughout the story I was so frustrated. Like, freaking Anna was so annoying. She was so petulant, so naive, so whiny. And please don't hate me. I know so many of you absolutely love these contemporary books. Really, dogs? My dogs hate me too. They disagree, apparently. Then I picked up Sarah J. Maas's Throne of Glass series. I have book talks on all 3 of these books, so if you want to go check that out, I'll link it down below. But I gave all of these books 5 stars, and for reasons why I gave them that beautiful 5-star rating is detailed down below in the book talks. They are beyond beautiful. I read them back to back. Just go read them. After Throne of Glass, I was on a massive fantasy kick, and I was just like, I don't want anything else. I want fantasy. Just give me all the fantasies. That sounds really weird. Don't give me all the fantasies. We're gonna skip that. So I picked up Majesty Scorpio Races, and this won the Prince Award for a reason. It is wonderful. Beautiful, beautiful writing. But by the halfway point, I was absolutely hooked. I could not put this book down. I was just enamored by the characters that Maggie had drawn for us. Essentially, this follows water horses that come out of the sea and kill people. But every November, the people on this island, they race on the horses to win a big sum of money. And so we follow Puck and Sean and their adventures and their intertwining lives, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. I loved it. Maggie Stiefvater is a god when it comes to creating characters. Beyond brilliant. And as I was so obsessed with Maggie Stiefvater and her writing and her characters and her awesome, really twisty, unique plots, I jumped into the Raven Boys, because I just needed more of Maggie Stiefvater in my life. And so I went straight into this. I flew straight in like that raven. But yeah, I have a book talk on this, so I will link that down below if you want to know more of my thoughts on it. Then I picked up the sequel to Raven Boys, which is The Dream Thieves by Maggie Stiefvater. I gave this 4.5 stars. Liked it more than the first one because her books just get better and better, but I have a more in-depth talk on it, so I'll link that down below. Next, I finally finished 10 by Gretchen McNeil. I had started this 6 months prior, and I finally finished it in like May, and I gave this 3 out of 5 stars, but even though it is such a low rating, I have a very high respect for it because it just started my love of these murder mystery thrillers. It just started a domino effect, and I was just crazy obsessed with these killer thrillers, and you will see it in my next books that I'm about to show you. I absolutely went insane, and I was just on a murder mystery thriller craze. I was just unstoppable. So since I was in a really dark mood, I picked up Say Her Name by James Dawson. This is a very dark book. If you don't like horror books, don't go anywhere near this. It will give you nightmares. It gave me nightmares. It freaked me the hell out because it follows the myth of Bloody Mary, and just saying her name right now gives me the creeps. So, But I read this in one sitting. It was so addictive. I was completely hooked. The characters are so likable. The writing is so easy to read. The story was phenomenal. I can't praise it enough. I gave it 5 stars, if that wasn't clear already. Since I liked James Dawson so much and I was in such a murder mystery kind of phase, I decided to pick up his Cruel Beauty, and I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. It wasn't what I was expecting. I mean, no, I was expecting it, but I was kind of let down a little, so that's why I gave it such a low rating. The mystery was just pretty predictable, and I didn't really feel connected to the characters, so I wouldn't really recommend it as a top priority read for a murder mystery thriller. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. Continuing on with this dark kind of mystery phase, I picked up Dangerous Boys and Dangerous Girls by Abigail Haas. I loved these books so freaking much. Abigail's writing is absolutely phenomenal. It hooks you like nothing I've really ever read before. I could not put this down. I finished both of these in one sitting. These books are just so brilliant. They are so dark, so psychologically twisty. They get under your skin. They creep you the hell out in ways that you didn't even imagine, and I absolutely love them for that. So 5 stars for each of them. Then I picked up Colleen Hoover and Taryn Fisher's Never Never and Part 2 Never Never. I gave both of them 4 out of 5 stars. I frankly really loved them. I was completely hooked. I read both of these in one sitting, couldn't put it down. I'm not going to give you synopsis for these 2 books because I believe you need to go into these blindly, because that is the best way to go into this book. Blindly, without knowing nothing, because it is quite fitting. And lastly, to wrap up June, I read Blue Lily Lily Blue, which is the 3rd book in Maggie Stiefvater's The Raven Cycle Quartet, and I loved it. I will have a book talk up really soon. I just need to get my thoughts in order, so I will link it down below where you can find it. I just need to upload it, but I gave this 5 stars. Someone at my door. Thank you all for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in my next video.